Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a Q&A, answering all your questions about everything from body confidence, my cat, my life, me, my age, that's 33. I'll go ahead and spill that one right now. I'm on my period, so if I start crying, that will be why. Especially, look, I told you I'm gonna start crying. It's this period, but before we go, please like this video if you do like it, and subscribe. All right, here we go. How can I balance losing weight for my health without being drawn into diet culture? Yeah, this is complicated. I almost wouldn't unless you are working with a doctor and a nutritionist. I personally wouldn't recommend focusing on weight loss as the health goal. I'd focus on running a certain distance, lifting a certain amount, increasing flexibility, gaining mobility. My weight has fluctuated. When I was in my eating disorder, I was super thin. And then I gained weight, and I personally found when I stopped obsessing about my weight, focused on my health and how I felt and how movement made me feel, my body transformed into what I wanted it to be. It transformed into this, you know, for me, this like powerful thing that has little, no, all right, I didn't know they were that little. I'm just trying to show you my guns, but. So I would say don't focus on the weight loss, focus on the health goal. What can you gain instead of what can you get rid of? Have I always been this confident about my body? No, I have not. I had a really bad relationship with my body for a long time. This is what I've been working on for the last few years. I mean, certainly when I was recovering from my eating disorder, but even after then, it just became a place of like tolerating my body because I knew I had to, because otherwise I would get sick again. But actually liking my body came from, last question, focusing on health goals. Also following certain accounts, exposing myself to new media. So no, it took a while, but it's worth the fight. How do you feel about, yeah, I'm not even gonna read that one, and it will spark some fires. We're not doing that. If I could go anywhere in the world, where would I go? Je vais voyager, there we go. Je vais voyager au Paris. I would travel to Paris. Parce que j'étudie français depuis many years. I studied French for many years, but I speak it poorly. But I have always just felt a hopeless romanticism and love towards Paris. I'd love to live there with a cat in like a little studio with a window and a cup of coffee and French music and a breeze. Oh, something about it just speaks to me. So Paris. My favorite snack, banana and peanut butters. Peanut butters, banana and peanut butter. Best advice I've ever been given. Be as true to yourself as you can. And this is something I've really had to remind myself of lately, but you have to like listen to that little seed. Otherwise you'll be crushed into everyone else's opinions of you, and you will be left reeling and feeling sick and coping through bad habits. How do I accept my body now that I'm 29 and my body is changing? Aging is scary sometimes. Scary, and it's complex, and it's not simple, and it's so much of what we are taught is beautiful as women is wrapped around youth. For me, having, again, health goals that are loving to my body, that make me feel good and strong, that's helped. Also following a few age positive accounts. Caroline Labouche is one. But following accounts like that where you see different age groups who are doing incredible things. They're stronger is another one. All these will be linked down below. But just seeing these women that are just absolute ballers, they're just so cool. That's helped me. Do I ever feel insecure? Yes. Yeah, and there's a question right below this that asks, do I sometimes put up stuff that makes me feel insecure? Guys, I feel insecure often. I think it's human nature. A big part of what I do, why I do, is it helps me. It helps me to know there are other women out there who feel the same way, to know I'm not alone. It's one of the reasons why I love the Facebook group, is it's not even just me interacting with you, it's like you guys interacting with each other, which is just the best thing. And I'm an optimist, right? Sunshine, rainbows, kittens, French apartments, French baguettes. Activewear, what activewear would I recommend to hide bloating and be comfortable? Okay, we could go into this one for hours, but best advice, I'm making shapes. Best advice would be to follow Hope Scope. I'm gonna link her down below. All she does is review activewear, and I'm not even kidding you guys. It is the most soothing thing in the world to sit and watch this girl. I personally love Women's Best. Complete transparency, I do work with them, but I work with them because I use their product for over 2 years. I love it. I think Lululemon, but they're god expensive. Lilybod is pretty incredible and very comfortable, but still being fitted. And Lorna Jane, they know how to dress a woman. They are just, I never know when I'm filming if those should go like in or out. How do I ease my anxiety around food? This theme came up quite a lot. We are taught so much anxiety around food. So first off, don't feel guilty if you do find yourself counting calories or feeling a bit nervous with food or uncomfortable or even having battles. It's a hard fight. There are a few tangible things like that I personally don't do. I don't ever use MyFitnessPal to track calories. I don't log what I eat. I don't have a scale. I don't weigh my food anymore. I mean, I used to do all these things, but that's what led me into like diet disorder and diet culture and bad habits. So the minute you start to give yourself that freedom, the anxiety goes away. Well, look, if you've had an eating disorder, it's always there a little bit, but it reduces math. Tell us more about your day job. Do you write in Arabic? No, but I can say, Sabah al-khair, ana sahafiya, ana ismi Danae. Good morning, my name is Danae, I'm a journalist. And that is my day job. I'm a journalist. So I specialize in health and fitness and travel. How often is it okay to have a cheat day? I don't do cheat days. I don't do intermittent fasting. I always struggle to say that word. For me, recovery's really been a lot about no food rules and like really staying away from that. We don't need to have cheat day if you allow yourself that balance throughout the week. And this ties into another question, like how do I manage guilt around eating bad food? There's not bad food. There's food that makes you feel better. There's food that maybe will give you a tummy ache or won't give you the same energy or will shoot you up and crash you down. But sometimes that food is the cake that your grandma baked and it's special in that moment and it comes with memories and it's exquisite. Food itself isn't good or bad. Humans, by our nature, we want what we can't have. So the minute you say like, nope, then our little brains are like, well, that is better. Like, give me some of that grass. So I would say really try to fight against that restrictive thinking. How can I wear shorts and not care that people are gossiping or staring? They're not gossiping, they're not staring. That's how you don't care. We all think we're the hero in our own story and that we are the center actor on the stage and everyone is watching us and caring about us and staring at us and everyone thinks that way. So we are all there in our own little stories worrying about other people worrying about us. They are not worrying about you. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves and worrying about maybe what you're thinking about then. How do you stop caring? How do you wear those shorts? Start small. Wear them first around your house. Get comfortable. Maybe then do a few stories on social media. Get a little more comfortable. Then take them to a grocery store. Then take them to the beach. Oh my gosh, I can never get my legs out in public. Tiny, tiny, tiny steps. How did it feel to gain weight? Was it a good or bad feeling? This has come up in a few different themes. Someone asked, she said she knows she needs to gain weight because of her period. She needs to get her period back, but she's scared. Gaining weight when you are sick, and you know, I've opened up about my eating disorder in the past, it's hard. Mentally, it's hard. It's hard because you have tied so much of your value in being thin. And in your mind, thin is the goal. To break away from that and say, but wait a second, that was so unhealthy, so unhealthy. And you know, not eating for an entire day or having a cup, I used to measure a cup of frozen broccoli and a bag of, and then going home at night and watching the Food Channel while binging on hamburger McDonald's, that's not healthy. And that's not a life that anyone wants to live, and it was awful. And if gaining weight was my way out of that, kind of accepting that that's necessary. For a long time with recovery, you often feel like you're fighting. You're fighting with two sides, like that little angel and the devil on your shoulder, right? Recovering from eating disorders, this one thing that's telling us something and it's awful and it's not good for us, and then it's our brain being like, but wait a second. So for me, with gaining weight, the awful thing was, if you gain weight, no one's gonna love you. If you gain weight, you're not gonna be popular. If you gain weight, you're a failure. All this stuff. And then this side of me was like, oh, wait a second. If you gain weight, you're gonna be able to live the life you want. You're gonna feel good. You're not gonna be making yourself throw up. You know, you're not gonna skip social functions because you're afraid of food. You are going to live. And sometimes like, it's that simple and that complicated. The battle that never really goes away, because this is our coping mechanism, is this like horrible little friend. You always have to fight against it and be like, but no, You're not gonna help my problems, you're gonna make them worse. I hope that answered. I feel like I'm on a soapbox. Sorry guys. Can you tell us more about your fur baby? I can tell you more about my fur baby. Kiki is a rescue cat. I've had him for almost 2 years now and is probably one of my best friends. I just love him so much. What's my opinion on shaving legs? What's my opinion on doing beauty treatments but for yourself? What's my opinion on being being more feminism? No. What's my opinion on being more, there we go. What's my opinion on being more feminine, but for yourself? Guys, people will often try to tell you what to do. If you're a feminist, you can't shave your legs. Well, that's ridiculous. If you're a feminist, you can't do beauty treatments for yourself. That's ridiculous. If you're a feminist, you can't be more feminine for yourself. Also ridiculous. Like, no, no, no. At the heart of these things, at the heart of things, is it a list of rules about what makes you in or out of the club? No, no, that's not what feminism is to me. For instance, feminism is about equality and the freedom to choose and having a space in which you can choose. I shave my legs. I have eyelashes on right now. I like to tan. Not in a machine, but on the beach. I do 1,001 things that feel good to me, for me. You do you. You do you. Am I in a relationship? That's a fun one. Not sure what spider veins are. Is it a language gap? Spider veins, I don't have any on my arms, and because it's my period time, I'm wearing sweatpants, but they're like those little kind of purple or black varicose veins. They're kind of tiny and they're spread out and they can be anywhere. Like I've got one, I wonder if you can see it. We can try not to get you up my nostril, but I'm trying to show you. There's one here. Anyways, I've got one on my nose and I was embarrassed of mine for a long time. All right, I got a lot of questions about bloating. How do I cope with people asking me if I'm pregnant? How do I cope with bloating? How do I handle bloating? So I have always bloated, always. Like I don't remember a time I didn't bloat. And it's worse if I'm stressed or if I'm anxious. And I'm anxious a lot. Or if I drink a lot of coffee or, you know, 1,001 things, period. I struggle with this because I'm pretty sure if I went on a super restricted diet, my bloating would drop down. There's a health retreat in Phuket I've been to a few times. Phuket Cleanse, it's incredible. It's not a detox retreat, it's like more fitness, like you work out really hard, which I love, and no stress, and relaxation, lots of relaxation. When I'm there, my bloating pretty much always goes away within the first week, and it's mind-boggling to me, because in the real world, I'm never without bloating. Even now, I'm kind of sucking my tummy in. I'll try to see if you could see it. Sometimes they're like, oh, she distorts her body to look like that. I don't, and it can be pretty hard because my bloating is a pretty sensitive thing, I guess. Yeah, so it's tough because I'm pretty sure if I went on a restricted diet, it would probably drop down. But my worry, eating disorder, right? Like if you've had disordered eating, you kind of spend the rest of your life just being aware of it and careful with it. And to go on any kind of restrictive diet is super triggering. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know, and I don't want to give you the advice and have it be wrong or bad. I wear mostly trousers with elastic waist. If I am bloated, I remind myself that it fluctuates and that often it's due to what I ate the day before or how stressed I was. And so I really tried to let myself be gentle with it. And if someone asks if I am pregnant, tell them that is an incredibly inappropriate question to ever ask a woman. How dare they? Love you, you're so cute. That was from Niama Mohammed Kamal. Kamal? Thank you. I love you too. Where am I from? Tanya D. Vass. I'm originally from California. I've got a really weird accent because I've lived abroad since 2009. Is my job as an Instagrammer part of my body acceptance process? Yes. You guys help me every day. I don't think you realize it, but you really do. Look, I told you I'm gonna start crying. It's this period, but I think especially this last week where, look, most days I feel very strong and very powerful and very confident and all the sunshine and rainbows, and then some days I don't. Some days I have bad days, and you guys help me. This has changed my life, really. Helped me find who I am, and I could never say thank you enough for that. Okay, different question. Jeez Louise, where do I see myself living next? What country or city? Great question. Either maybe Paris, for even just for a month or so. Boulder in Colorado, maybe. I love mountains. Or California, I miss home. Or I don't know. Why don't you comment below? Let me know where. How to avoid triggers for eating disorders. Last weekend, I felt really triggered. And that happens, that's okay. So that's one of the things, is when I feel triggered, I don't try to like fight it. I don't squash it down. I don't tear myself apart or feel bad about it. I acknowledge it and I say, okay, what can I do to make it better? One of those things might be setting boundaries. So if it's a friend or a family member hurting you or saying bad stuff, you set that boundary, you step away from that conversation. Talk to friends. So I have friends who know about my struggles and kind of know, I guess, my history, my past, and just having someone who's there to say, hey, are you doing okay? Are you triggered right now? Like, is everything all right? Or hey, have you eaten today? Or I would, if you can, if you have that kind of friendship with people, open up with them. It doesn't need to be a heavy conversation, but just let them know that maybe this is something you struggle with, because then they can help be that bit of love that sometimes you can't be for yourself. I also try to do alternative coping mechanisms. If I'm triggered and my body's like, okay, yes, for me it's sugar, right? So it's like, okay, yes, I want sugar, I want sugar, I want sugar. I'm like, well, wait a second. What's going on? What emotion am I feeling? Like, what is this really? Try to understand that feeling. And then give myself something else I like. I love massages, Halo Top ice cream, which is really expensive here. So instead of reaching for that one thing, I reach for other treats. Are you a vegan? No. What job do I want to do next? I would love to start giving talks. This is my dream job. All right, guys, on that note, we are wrapping up this show. I'll be back next week with some kind of theme. I'm still figuring out YouTube's, but we're gonna get there. We'll get there together, I guess. Give this a thumbs up if you're still here. It matters. Subscribe, that also matters. Here's to women empowering women, girls empowering girls. All of us doing this together. All right, ciao. Bye. Adios. Au revoir. En plus.